put this, I'm gonna hide this in the bottom. And if you want me to stop or have any questions,
I will let you know, yes.
yeah, please let me know because I won't be seeing the chat. So hi everyone, I hope you're ready for Global Bangkok. Uh, I'm greeting you actually from Bangkok tonight. We're going to discuss about Chronicle and most importantly, how to ace the Chronicle track at Global Bangkok. But before that, I want to tell you a few words about Chronicle. So at Chronicle, we provide oracles, decentralized verifiable oracles. And I want to offer you a refresher on what are Web3 oracles. In order to explain Web3 oracles, I like to make this analogy with mobile phones because I believe it's very accessible. So if you think about your mobile phone is powerful because it enables you to access different sort of applications. However, in order to get access to these applications, there is a transfer of information with these applications. Now, think what happens when you need to board a plane and put your phone on plane mode. All of a sudden, this exchange of information disappears and means that your phone can't access this, you can't use these applications anymore. And your phone becomes pretty much useless, I would say. Like there is not much you can do with the phone on plane mode. Similar to that, you can think about the blockchain as a confined sandbox. So beyond this sandbox, the blockchain doesn't know anything, doesn't have any sort of information. However, in order to have different sort of applications on the blockchain, we need data on the blockchain. And this is where oracles come into play because they are the middleware that allows data to get to get to power applications using smart contracts. So basically, you have your applications that queries the oracles and gets information that can be used further in your app. So this is about oracles. And in terms of the Oracle problem per se, we need to keep in mind that we want, in the Web3 world, we're striving for decentralization. So we want our data that powers, if we're having like decentralized applications, obviously we want decentralized data as well when it comes to powering these applications. Otherwise, we're back to square one. So that's why we need decentralized oracles. I get that quite often, like at hackathons, like you're gonna have people asking like, but can't I use just like an API call? Well, if you just use an API call, you're gonna have a centralization problem. That API call can be unreliable, can disappear, the next day can be hacked, etc. You want a trusted, decentralized network to power your app with data. Okay, so now that we saw what are Web3 oracles, let's talk about bounties. I think we're all here because we want to look at the bounties and you want to potentially be one of the participants, one of the finalists who win at the Chronicle track. So we have 10K in bounties and split across two tracks. The first track is best integration of Chronicle oracles. You can see the price distribution. And I want to highlight here that this track gives you full flexibility to choose the use cases for your Chronicle oracles. So you can go to the dashboard. I can show you, oops. So if you go chroniclelabs.org/dashboard, you can see here the oracles. You can see like all the chains that are available. So Ethereum, Mainnet, Arbitrum, Mantle, etc. And here, so this is how you toggle between, this is testnet or dev mode, and these are like mainnet oracles. At the hackathon, you're gonna use testnet because you're gonna see in a second in order to read from the oracles, you need to be whitelisted. I'm gonna explain everything. Now, also another question we get quite often is like, what sort of data can I use for the Chronicle track? So basically, you can use any sort of data from the dashboard. Any of the price feeds from here are eligible. Feel free to pick your favorite. In theory, yes, I keep going on share instead of slideshow. In theory, yes, an Oracle can put on chain any sort of data. However, the process, it's a bit more complex. Like in order to do that, you need the data model and you need like all the validators to use that data model. So that's why like this is something to prepare for. So for the hackathons per se, we're offering these prices feeds. Now, a few words about myself, because I've been talking for a while, but I haven't introduced yet. So my name is Bianca. I'm lead dev at Chronicle. You have here my social media handles. If you have any questions, please get in touch. Also, I'm going to be during Global Bangkok. I'm going to be on the ground at the venue. So if you have any questions, come on the booth and get support with your project, validate your idea, whatever that might be. Come say hi. More than happy to help you. So in terms of agenda, we talked about Web3 oracles and the oracle problem. We talked about Chronicle at H.E.R Global Bangkok, and also we're going to look at why Chronicle specifically, and then we're going to have some hands-on building with Chronicle oracles. So a few words about Chronicle. Chronicle has been powering Maker DAO since June 2017. An interesting fact is the first oracle on Ethereum. However, until last year until last year in 2023, it was confined basically to MakerDAO. Last year in 2023, it spun out of Maker, and now the oracles can be used by the whole Web3 ecosystem. So that's why maybe why you didn't know these facts, because it was internally used until last year. In terms of TVS, or total value secured, it secures around 7.5 billion of assets. So that's a very large amount of assets, and it's the second largest oracle in terms of TVS. Now I want to talk a bit about Chronicle Scribe. Scribe is an extremely gas-efficient oracle using aggregated H.E.R signature. So this is the name basically of our gas-efficient oracle. H.E.R signatures have been around for a while, since the 90s. However, this is the first time when H.E.R signatures are used in the context of Web3 oracles. And I'm going to tell you in a second why this is very powerful. So what sets apart Chronicle Scribe oracles? Three things are the most important. The first one is decentralization, verifiability, and scalability. And we're going to take them one by one. So Chronicle oracles are powered by a decentralized network of validators. You can see here projects that I'm sure you're familiar with, and some of these you might already be using, such as Gitcoin, H.E.R, MakerDAO, Global, Gnosis, etc. So essentially what's happening is that these projects are putting their reputation in the game. So they have a huge incentive to deliver the right data and to be right, because their reputation is at stake. Next one is verifiability. So our oracles are end-to-end verifiable. And I'm going to show you a live demo what I mean by verifiable. So if we go on the dashboard again, I'm going to go on mainnet oracles. Let's say I'm go on Ethereum, ETHUSD, Oracle. And here I can see the different validators that have been contributing. And let's say I select one of the validators. Let's say pick Gitcoin. I can see the different data sources that have been used. So you can see here it's a combination of on-chain and off-chain data sources. What I can do, I can go and verify in browser that the H.E.R signature hasn't been manipulated. So if I just verify, it's going to be fine. But if I try to modify it slightly, for example, I'm going to delete a zero, it's going to tell me that I'm messing up with the signature. Similarly, here I have the H.E.R signature. This is the data that gets pushed on chain, and we can do the same process. So this is what I meant by verifiability here. Let's see next. Oh, scalability. We have scalability. So as I mentioned, the signature aggregation, the H.E.R signature aggregation enables gas costs by over 60% on L1 and 68% on L2. This is huge when it comes to oracles, and not only because you have like a cheaper bill. This is powerful, of course, but also the decentralization element is very important. So because now you don't need to worry about the gas cost anymore, you can introduce more validators. More validators means more decentralization and implicitly more security. When it comes to Oracle, you want the number of validators to be high. Next, I want to talk a bit about the different chains. So I show you on the dashboard, you can find the different chains. I show you how you can toggle between testnet and mainnet. And probably in my experience from what I saw in other hackathons, people will tend to go for some of these chains that are also part of the sponsors. This is what I saw. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Something to keep in mind, like if you're, for example, in the documentation, you're going to find examples for Ethereum Sepolia. However, of course, if you're changing to another network, make sure you have a bit of ETH on that network to cover the gas costs or whatever is the native currencies to cover the gas costs of the whitelisting process. We're going to talk now about the whitelisting process.
You are not on
So yeah.
not yet on cellular layer 2?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Okay, so how do we read from an oracle? First, we need to get access, as I mentioned earlier, and the procedure is called a kiss. The good news is that on testnet, you can self-kiss yourself, so you can whitelist yourself. And something I want to emphasize here is that if you're using multiple oracles, you're going to need to do the whitelisting process for every oracle. It's not like you whitelist once and that's it, but it's like you want list per oracle. And here is a guide. Feel free to scan it. It's a guide from our docs. I can take you to. I'm gonna take you to this guide. Basically, this guide over here. But let me do a brief demo. Actually, let's see. Okay, so we have some people in the room. I'm curious, like, how familiar are you with smart contract development? Let's see in the chat, because I want to know which path to proceed further. I have two potential ways to proceed, but I want to make it as easy for you as
I will
possible.
let you know as intermediary level.
Intermediate. Okay.
Yeah. When I take a look at the participants.
Okay, let's put the foundation first. I know, let's do this, and if we have time, we can do the other one as well, just to make sure that everyone has the foundation set properly. So I have this here. Yeah, I have this code from our docs. This is the same. So in our guides, I'm going to walk you through. First is this guide that explains you the process of whitelisting. So first, let's go through this guide. The first step is to select the chain that you want to use. So on the dashboard, you basically choose one of the chains that you want from here. Now we're going to use Ethereum Sepolia for a reason, because I have like Sepolia ETH on testnet. I don't have for the other chains, but if you're a hacker, you should have they have like It Global, it's offering these packs. And if you are hacking, you should have access to testnet faucet on different chains. So you should be covered. Step number 2 is to get the address of the oracle you want to use. So once you're on the chain that you want, here I can see the different oracles. And I can select, I don't know, let's say Bitcoin, USD, whatever. And here I'm going to have the contract address and I can grab it from here. So we need this. Then step number 3, get the address of the self-kisser for that chain from step number 1. So basically, I selected Ethereum Sepolia, and I'm going to look here for the address of the self-kisser on Ethereum Sepolia. And I see here Ethereum Sepolia, and this is the address. This is also going to be needed. And last step, whitelist the address reading from the oracle using the self-kisser. So now I'm going to combine the self-kisser from here and the address of the oracle from here, and I'm going to get whitelisted for a given address. I'm going to get that address whitelisted. Okay, so I want to share with you this. I'm going to put it in the chat, hopefully. Chat here. Where is suppose meet group in group chat, this one. So this is the code you're gonna see. It's quite it's quite easy, nothing fancy here. Oh, I put which one did I put? I don't want this one, sorry. I want to put this one, Oracle Reader. Okay, should have the right one. So I have here an Oracle Reader, and we're gonna read from an Oracle. In this case, we have here, we can see ETUSD Oracle on Sepolia. And basically here I create an instance of interface Chronicle, and I pointed to this address. This address is for ETUSD on Sepolia. Then I have an instance of interface self-kisser. I pointed to this address, which corresponds to the self-kisser on Ethereum Sepolia. And then we're doing the whitelisting, sorry. Basically, we are whitelisting this address of the Chronicle that we define here. And then we're going to read, basically. And when we read, we have this method read with H that returns like the value returned by the oracle and the age. The age basically represents how long it passed since the last update. And here I just copied the interface for iChronicle and iSelfKisser, only the methods that we're gonna use. The iChronicle, it's a bit, has a few extra methods I'm gonna show you just to know what I'm talking about. But it's nevertheless quite brief. So most of the cases you're gonna want to use either read, which returns only the value, or read with age, which returns the value and the amount of time since the last update. So that's it. When you have this, you obviously need to compile and then to deploy. When deploying, make sure you actually deploy the contract, because it's easy to select one of the interfaces, but you can't do that. So make sure you select the contract. You have injected provider, and it should pop my MetaMask. let's wait for this to deploy the contract. And once we have an instance of the contract, I am going to show you how it looks like. Are there any questions so far until we wait for the instance?
Not especially on the live demo. I think it's quite simple. My question is when you have to take a look at project, etc. Did you reward more consumer application, DeFi application, or because everyone will do probably a bit the same thing? So what is different, Well, what is the best for you?
Oh, we're so in terms of the bounties, as I mentioned, the bounties are, I think, I feel like I haven't finished mentioning the bounties. Yeah, so we have these, which is like an integration. So any sort of integration qualifies. We're not specifically looking for a certain use case. Whatever use case you feel like you want to build and you find interesting, that works. Naturally, I think our bounties tend to attract DeFi builders because, like, if you're gonna have a look, these are like price feeds. But also you can do other sort of use cases with these price feeds. For example, here you can see some examples, like you can have like a game with dynamic prices, a reputation system, AI optimizations for DAO treasury management, analytics dashboard, etc. And then there is also, we have like a price pool where, again, like any submission that it's like any valid submission basically qualifies here. So if you're not getting one of the prizes, don't worry, you can get at least some of the full prize.
Okay, thanks.
So no worries. Back to our contract. So we're gonna see here the address that we're using for the contract. This is the HUSD. Then we have the read method, and we see the value. You can see here that it's quite a big value. And that's because all Chronicle oracles use 18 decimal points. So you should like basically count 18 decimal points from this, and you're gonna see that the price is like 2908. Here it stops basically if you count 18 decimal points. And then the age, this is Unix timestamp since the last update of the oracle. So if we take this and Unix timestamp converter, let's see when was the last update. Here, Friday, 8th of November at this time. So that's that. And the self-kisser, this is just like the address of the self-kisser. Now we also have, I wanted to show here, we also have this scaffold Oracle reader. I think from what I understood, people here are familiar with Scaffold ETH
Yes.
tool from Biddlegate from Austin Griffith. So yeah, please feel free to scan the QR code. You're also gonna find this in the resource section for the hackathon. With this one, it's basically the same contract that I showed you. The single difference is that yeah, this is like integrated into the scaffolding. Those are like some simple actions that you need to follow. Here it's like you need to think a bit more like if you're using other networks beyond Ethereum Sepolia. So these are like hard-coded for Ethereum Sepolia. So if you want other network, you need like to go to the dashboard. You need to look at the self-kisser for that network. You're gonna need like an RPC endpoint for that network. And also you're gonna need a bit of the native currency of that network to cover the gas So the whitelisting process, it's a state operation, so you're gonna need gas to pay for that. I won't go over the commands. You simply follow line by line the commands, and you're gonna end up with the same Oracle as here. I think like if you're comfortable with this contract over here and you get like what you need to do basically to find like the Oracle address from the chain that you want and the self H.E.R address from that chain, you can like modify this guide here. So in guides, got guide number 2, not this one. No, this one. The tutorials. Consuming Oracle data is the same one that I pasted to you here. And yeah, you should be good to go. From there, you can add whatever functionality you want to your project. Any questions, feedback, ideas you want to validate for potential builds?
I think it's okay. Don't find question. The demo is pretty clear. And we can reuse it, so it's perfect. Hope we're gonna have some builders on
Let me
Chronicle.
put in the chat the address from the docs. You can, I think, easily navigate the docs,
Yeah.
but this is the same address from, not same address, sorry, same code from the Rise pad. Just like this one, it's basically like it's in the docs and stays there. The Rise pad, like I think it gets deleted after 60 days or something like that.
Okay. Perfect. On my side, I have a special Notion where I put everything to all resources that you sent. So just to let you know, everything will be.
Oh, I think the best page would be the best page will have like a page in our docs and everything. This is also linked on in global bounties page. This page has everything basically.
Okay, nice. Let's go. Ah, yes. Super cool. Thank you very much, Bianca, for your workshop.
Thank you, Celine. Thank you, everyone, and looking forward to see your projects.
Yeah.